For the final video, video 5 of Lesson 2, we will complete a few more examples using Method 2 for subtracting mixed numbers symbolically, as well as a word problem. And this is the method where we first change all mixed numbers to improper fractions and proceed from there. So let's consider the following subtraction calculations. In A, we have 4 subtract 1 and 1/7. First step in the process for method 2 is to change all of our mixed numbers to improper fractions. Well, if I look at my minuend here, it's just 4 wholes. To write that as an improper fraction, I simply go 4 over 1. 4 divided by 1 is just 4. My numerator bigger than my denominator. Subtract. Let's change 1 and 1/7 to an improper fraction. So we use the little process from before. Start with my denominator 7, multiply it by the whole number part, 1, and add on a 1. And that will give you 8 over 7. In order to subtract these improper fractions, we need a common denominator. And the LCD for 1 and 7 is just 7. So I need to rewrite the 4 over 1 as an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 7. 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 7, 28. Subtract 8 over 7. Now we can subtract these two improper fractions easily. Copy down the LCD, which is 7. 28 subtract 8 is a 20. This particular improper fraction cannot be reduced, but we can rewrite it as a mixed number, which is what we need to do here. How many full groups of 7 can I get out of 20? Well, 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 7 then is too much. So we got to stick with 2 full groups of 7, and we will be left with 6/7. So 2 and 6/7. Final answer. In B, 2 and 3/10 subtract 1 and 2/5. First step, let's change them to improper fractions. 10 times 2 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Over the denominator 10. Subtract. 5 times 1 is 5. Add 2 is 7. Over denominator 5. We need an LCD in order to subtract these two improper fractions. The LCD for 10 and 5 is 10. So the first improper fraction, we leave it be, 23 over 10. The second improper fraction, we create an equivalent fraction, which will be 14 over 10. That allows us then to subtract our numerators. 23 minus 14 is 9. Copy down the LCD 10. 9/10, simplest form, done deal. C, 7 1/4, subtract 5 1/3. Step 1, mix numbers to improper fractions. 4 times 7, 28. 28 and 1 is a 29 over 4. Subtract. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. Add on 1 is 16. Over my denominator, 3. 29 over 4. Subtract 16 over 3. Denominators are different. We have a 4 and a 3. We need the LCD for 4 and 3, which is 12. Rewrite both fractions. 4 times 3 is 12. 29 times 3 will give us 87. 3 times 4 is 12. 16 times 4 will give us 64. Down that LCD, and 87, subtract 64, gives us 23. 23 over 12 cannot reduce, but we change it back to a mixed number, and I can get one full group of 12 out of 23, and we'll be left with 11/12. In D, 3 mixed numbers. Process, though, will be the same. We're going to change these 3 mixed numbers, first of all, to improper fractions. Here we go. 2 times 4 is 8. Add 1 is 9. 9 over 2. Subtract. 4 times 2 is 8. Add 1. That's a 9 again. This time, though, my denominator is 4, so it's over 4. Subtract. 3 times 1 is 3. Add 1 is a 4 over the denominator, which is 3. I look at my denominators. I have a 2, a 4, 3, certainly not common. We need the least common denominator for these 3 numbers, And if you work it out, you will get a 12. We now rewrite each of these three fractions with a denominator of 12. 2 times 6, 9 times 6, 54. 4 times 3 is 12, 9 times 3, 27. 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16. Copy down that LCD of 12. Now let's subtract. 54 subtract 27. Well, that's actually 27. And then 27 take away 16 will give us 11. 11 twelfths, proper fraction, simplest form. We are done. Let's have a look at a word problem. Raphael has a bamboo pole that is 3 3/4 meters long. He decides to cut off 1.5 meters. The question is, what is the length of the remaining bamboo pole in meters that Raphael has? Well, if he's cutting off, then that's going to be a subtraction. Our operation is subtraction here. So we're going to go 3 3/4, and we're going to cut off, we're going to take away that 1.5. We will use our method 2 here to complete this. So I'm going to change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. 4 times 3 is a 12. 12 and a 3 is 15 over 4. Subtract. 2 times 1 is 2. Add the 1, 3. Now, if I want to subtract these two improper fractions, I need a common denominator. The LCD for 2 and 4 is 4. Keep the first improper fraction the same. Change the second one to, that'll give us a 6 over 4. Copy down the LCD, which is 4, and 15 subtract 6 is 9. Change this improper fraction to a mixed number. I can get 2 full groups of 4 out of 9. That'll give me 8, so I have 1 left over, so 2 1/4. We can say that Raphael has a pole that is now 2 1/4 meters in length. Please don't forget that you should always include units in your final answer if they're given in the question. So in this case, we had meters, so I put meters in my final answer. To clue up this section, I want us to have a little talk about which method do I use. If you reflect back on what we've done in the last few videos, we've looked at modeling, we've looked at a method 1, we've looked at a method 2, and we've done that for both the addition and subtraction of mixed numbers. So your question, like I say, is probably, well, what do I use? Well, for the modeling piece, modeling provides you with a wonderful visual, and you can't beat that. A picture is worth 1,000 words. However, if you had to draw everything out for your questions, that would take a lot of time and a lot of paper and probably a lot of patience. Modeling, like I say, is a great way to introduce, and there's nothing wrong with doing a few examples with modeling. But your method 1 and method 2, these symbolic ways of doing these questions, they are definitely quicker, and these are the ways that you will need to get accustomed to doing these questions. As for method 1 or method 2, well, I guess it depends on you. Whatever you prefer, whatever method you would like to use given a certain situation, entirely up to you. The important thing is you have a method that you can use and that you're comfortable with. And now I'd like you to proceed to the activities for lesson 2.